we've been invited out for a dinner tonight with some friends and asked to take along something vegetarian. So I thought, why not make a pesto lasagna? So today, if you don't mind, I'd like to share with you how we do our good old family favorite pesto lasagna. We'll start off first and make the pesto. And it's pretty cool to know how to make pesto because it's really simple. And you can use it in a pasta, on some bruschetta. Sometimes I even add a spoonful of pesto to a soup. It's really just a cool thing to always have in hand on your fridge. And then we'll talk you through the basic process of making the bechamel and then just the assembly. I'm going to get Barley to come in and help me because she's a really good assistant in the kitchen and she loves to cook. Okay, very easy. Let's get started. We have some nice fresh basil. You could grow this in your garden. Honestly, I just bought this in the supermarket. I've never really had good luck with growing basil, although they say it's very easy. Okay, this is living in Italy. We're very fortunate because we have endless supplies of good quality parmesan. I know many of you around the world battle to find good quality, and if you do, it costs a lot. But I always buy a nice piece like this, normally double or triple the size from the supermarket. And I always just throw it in my food processor, blend it up to make nice grated parmesan, so we always have it for pasta or soup. So I'm going to show you how I do that right now. We need about 30 grams of this. Okay, 30 grams of parmesan. Okay, look at this. Nice, perfectly grated parmesan. Okay, now we're just gonna add all the other ingredients and then the pesto's done. Pine nuts. Also easily found here in Italy because they use it a lot. 30 grams. I think it's about a handful more or less. Let's go with that. Okay, so Barney, will you get the garlic ready? Garlic, again, you can leave it out or you can add it. It's according to your own preference. I don't like too much garlic, so let's just do about half of that clove. Yeah, thanks, Barley. Barley, while you get started on that, I'm going to just sort out JP. He's moaning. Okay, Barley, let's add that piece of garlic. Great. Okay, now we're going to add all the basil. Barley, can you just break off all the pieces of basil? Just throw it in. Let's add this about 150 grams of extra virgin olive oil. I always decant my olive oil into these dispensers because the bottles are quite heavy. Okay, and now Barley, will you grab some salt? Let's just add a pinch of salt to this. And then that's it. We're ready to blend it all up and pesto is done. Thanks. Okay. Easy as that. Okay, that is pretty much it. Voila, Bali. Tell everybody how this smells. Show the camera.
It smells really good.
Delicious. Look at that. Nice, fresh, homemade pesto. And now you know exactly what's in it. We are going to now go through the steps of making the bechamel for the lasagna. Phase 2, guys. Now we are going to make the bechamel, which is a basic white sauce. Again, just to mention, these ingredients can be bought already made in the supermarket. So if you wanted to, you could actually buy this in the supermarket, and the preparation of the lasagna would really take you just a few minutes. Okay, this is what we need to make the bechamel. We need some flour, some milk, butter, salt and pepper, and nutmeg, which is optional. Okay, we're going to start off with about 40 grams of butter melted. Here we go. 40 grams, that's about 40 grams. I kind of pre-measured that before. There we go. Melt that up. Obviously, if you want more bechamel, add a bit more butter, add a bit more flour. It all pretty much goes on consistency. We're going to melt that up. Once it's all nice and melted, we'll add the flour. I always advise adding the flour off the heat. You don't want to burn the flour. So you take the butter off the heat and you just stir it together to form a nice smooth paste. Our butter is all melted. Take it off the heat. Let's add some flour. This is just white flour. Okay. We need about 40 grams of flour. So I'm going to add not all of it at once because depending on your altitude and the flour, it absorbs the butter at a different rate. Okay, so see, it starts to form a nice little paste, but we need more flour. Let's give it some more there. Okay, and we do this nice and smooth, no rush, because you don't want to form a lot of lumps. Otherwise, once you add the milk, it becomes a pain. Barley, do you want to come whisk in the milk for me?
Okay.
Grab a whisk. Again, off the heat. Okay, you whisk, I'll add the milk. Okay. Whisk fast. Let's slowly adding the milk to keep it from forming any lumps. And we need about 500 ml, half a liter of milk. Sauce is thickened up nicely. Now I'm just going to season it with the salt and pepper mix that I just used, and optional nutmeg. I will paste all the ingredients and the steps of the recipe below the video. Remember to check that out. And guys, please subscribe to us. All done. Now for phase 3. Phase 3, guys. And many of you can start off from this point if you don't make your own pesto and if you don't make your own bechamel. If they're store-bought, this is where you can start. Okay, I just have a little disposable lasagna dish because, as I mentioned, we're taking it over to friends, so then I don't have to stress about getting my dish back and waiting for everybody to eat up everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease the dish. But let's first talk about all the ingredients that you need to assemble your pesto lasagna. Here we have our pesto that we made earlier on. A bit of olive oil to grease your pie dish. Parmesan, and like I mentioned, I use a nice fresh block, but even if you bought store-bought already all grated up, or if you have a food processor, throw a chunk of this in the food processor as I did, and you have nice finely grated Parmesan to work with. Living in Italy, we're so blessed with pasta. I always buy fresh sheet bought lasagna. I'm too lazy to make it because it's all too good here. But you could also use dried lasagna, and I would just recommend soaking it in boiling water for, you know, like a few seconds. Dip it in the water, take it out. Mine is fresh, so it's pretty easy to use. And then we have our lovely bechamel, which is all finished. Start off by adding the bechamel into your pesto. There we go. Scrape it all up because you want a nice saucy lasagna. Nothing worse than when it's super dry. Okay. And then we're gonna give this a little mix. It's gonna look real nice and creamy once it's all mixed up. Look at that. Yummy. Grease my pie dish. Just a bit. Excellent. All done. Okay. And this is where you can call a child to come and help you because it's a little bit tedious, all the layers. My kids love this. Barley is the master of pesto lasagna. She does this in a few minutes and boom, it's all done. Okay. Barley, you want to swap places? You can come layer the lasagna and I'll see to JP. I'm sure you guys can hear him moaning in the background. But to start first, let me just show you. I always just add a bit of pesto here on the tray, just to make 100% sure that it doesn't stick. Good. And layer my first sheet of pasta. Okay, let's start the layering. Bechamel and pesto mix, spooned over the sheet of pasta. Remember to get all the ends, otherwise they become real dry and crispy in the oven. Perfect. Then we go, spoon, nice parmesan, as much as you like, over the pasta. Continue the layering process. I like to use about 12 sheets of pasta, so it's really nice and high. Also, the focus is on the pasta, not just the sauce. After about 12 layers of pasta, and again guys, you can make it as high or as low as you want. I like a lot of pasta. We just add a nice generous sprinkling of parmesan over the top to go all nice and crusty in the oven. And then we put it in the oven at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15-20 minutes. Guys, remember the ingredients and the recipe is below, and please subscribe. Also post any recipes that you would like me to make, any ideas of Italian recipes that you would like some inspiration for or ideas. I'm totally open to ideas. There we go. All done. Now it's time for a nice glass of Prosecco before we head out. Guys, I put this in the oven for about 10 minutes, but if you're doing this at home, 20 minutes is better. We're going out to our friends and we don't want to overdo it because we'll need to warm it up there as well. But it should be all nice and golden on the top. We've got a few little golden patches, but tonight when I do it with them, we'll put it back in the oven and it'll be all nice and golden and crunchy on the top. Enjoy. Good to serve with a salad, some nice crispy bread, or if you're Italian, this will be your primo, and you'll do a nice secondo of chicken and veg. Enjoy. Buon appetito.